Yo, what's up, Logan? Man, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, man? You're Gucci? All right. Are you Gucci because you're playing Elden Ring or because you're doing good? Big Goblin Dick. Now that's a name if I've ever seen one. Yo, what's up, Green? How you doing, man? What's up, Alex? All right. Um, man, I know it might be boring, but I kind of want to do Double Blade Crusher again. Uh, Actually, you know what? You know what? You know what? Let's try double. Let's try poison today. Try the same variant but poison. See how it does. Yo, genius, how you doing, man? Glad to see you. Thanks for the tier 3 resub for just shy of 60 months, dude. Thanks a lot, man. Okay, level up first. You're a special channel for me. I was watching you when I was playing Elden Ring, and after returning to your channel once in a half year. Well, I'm glad you see it that way. I'm glad you stuck around. Okay, I want to try, the same stuff I do um with Double Crusher, but I think we're gonna do the poison variant though. Oh wow, that's too heavy? Okay. That's crazy. Well, sure I want that. Double Crusher is OP. And in Invasion, it actually is pretty strong, honestly. Might not seem like it at first, but I need to think here. What do I want? Okay, let's go with this. Definitely not Ender. We need to have a chill atmosphere. Usually people say I'm toxic, but I'm glad you find it chill. No, but for real though. I appreciate it. Okay. I mean, we need to leave both of them free. I'm thinking like having like this for the offhand could be useful, but I'm not really sure, honestly. Maybe, maybe like have the offhand have like chilling mist. I don't know if it's really useful. Here's the deal, right? Like the offhand, we're not gonna use it, or like we're gonna use the ash situationally, whereas the main hand we want to have it like readily available. I think what we're gonna do is the boring things that you guys love, which is Storm Stomp. So the offhand is gonna have Storm Stomp, and main hand, because we're invading, is gonna have BHS to help us escape. So we're gonna do it like this. And obviously, You need this right here. Yo, Amish, how you doing, man? All right. Skyrim music is a nice upgrade. Oop, yeah, I think you say that because I actually just realized I forgot to put some music. Let's put some Skyrim music by popular request. There you go. Skyrim music is nice though, like I'll say that. It's crazy how much I've listened to the Skyrim track and I've never gotten tired of it. And there's something to be said about that, you know, like you can listen to a good song for a year maybe if you really like it, 2 years, but at some point you're gonna grow. I mean, at some point it's gonna grow stale or repetitive, or you know, you're gonna get tired of it. But for some reason, for some weird reason, I think Skyrim is the most timeless music I've ever listened to. It's so weird. Well, I mean, so weird. I don't think it's weird. I think it's just goes to show how much of a masterpiece this is. It's like even songs that I used to really like sometimes like your taste changes. Maybe your taste doesn't even change, but just listening to the same thing all the time can feel repetitive. Oh, that was all me, GG. Oblivion music is peak as well. Oh, don't get me wrong, like Oblivion music is nice too. Like there's a ton of really good game music. Like I'm gonna be honest, I think From Software Armored Core 6 track, for the type of game this is and the type of music this is, like I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now in my free time. You know, like usually like late at night after I'm done working. And it's weird how I feel like we take like audio for granted in games, and with Cyberpunk I really feel like it has some of the most mid music of any game. Like the soundtrack for Cyberpunk, it has like, you know, 1 or 2 good songs and then the rest of it is just plain bad. But when you compare that to like soundtrack like AC6, which, you know, goes for a similar vibe, similar tunes, like it's just so good, like the AC6 tracks. Yeah, but like we underestimate how good it, how important like sound is to a game, and we always like, I feel like I take it for granted. At least I don't know about you guys, but the game is good. Yeah, I'm actually having a blast. Like when I started Cyberpunk, first of all, I bought it because it was on sale, like heavy sale, like 50+% off, and it was on GOG at 50+% off too. So I was like, you know what, might be a good opportunity to try it out, because I like Bethesda games. I'm like, you know what, I probably will like Cyberpunk. And I really didn't like it, honestly, at first. Like I felt like the gameplay was really bad, and I had to force myself a little bit to, you know, just to keep playing a bit. And then eventually what happened is oh, weird. Oh my god, he tanked that? Wow, that was crazy. Eventually what happened is like started to really like the characters. It's crazy how well written the characters and the dialogue is in Cyberpunk. And ultimately what kept me going is that I just wanted to know like what was next, like in the story, and like what were going to be like the next interactions. And so Cyberpunk is one of those few games, like I look at Rockstar games the same way. You know, I always play like every GTA game. I always play the Rockstar games because Rockstar is, first of all, the most technologically advanced studio. They're always the one that are basically pushing the video game technology. when a new Rockstar game comes out, by default, it is the most advanced game in the industry. And so, like, from that point of view, and also from the point of view of, like, to this point, like, all the Rockstar games have always had, like, amazing stories. And so even if you don't like the gameplay, which I don't, I think Rockstar really makes for some of the most, like, casual, like, thumbless gameplay for their games. Like, it's really, you really don't play the Rockstar games for the gameplay, but you play it for the universe, the characters, all that stuff. And so I really enjoyed them regardless. And Cyberpunk is kind of fitting in the same category for me. Like, the characters and the universe and the story is just so good that it doesn't even matter if the gameplay is not that great. I just love it because I want to know what's next for the characters and everything. And to be fair to Cyberpunk, now I think I'm almost level 50 now, so I'm approaching, like, the end of my playthrough. I've done the DLC already, and I think the gameplay gets better as you level up. Like, it's pretty bad at the start. Also, the boss fights are... Let's just say, like, if you've played the Souls game, I think your bar for a good boss fight is just way too high for these types of games. Like, the boss are the most jankiest, like, you know, just boring bosses that you can think of. But with that being said, Cyberpunk probably has the best character dialogue, or the most believable dialogue that I've ever stumbled across in any game. Like, you listen to the dialogue and you could actually, like, picture this, like, being, like, this... You could picture, like, the present being in a utopian future, and you could picture the dialogue between characters being exactly like this. And so the dialogue lines and everything feels super immersive, especially for the main storyline. Like, the side quests are not all great, but the main story is insane. Aspinall fight's about to start. I'll let you know the result. Yeah, I mean, Aspinall's gonna win. I'm gonna be honest, Steve, like when you send me the message, like, you want to watch the fight, I was like, I was about to ask, like, who's fighting, and I looked it up, and it was Aspinall versus Gun. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stream. Just on the border of I saved him. Yo, that's not... Oh, he's aggressive. Ooh, that's dangerous though. You guys see that? We're, like, on the limit of, like, the weight. You might want to change some things. There's not much room to, yeah, there is not much room to, make any mistake when I change Deadly like that. Also, I'm noticing that one thing that I underestimated about this setup versus Double Crusher is the fact that if I'm using Double Crusher, I will likely have Bragger. And Bragger gives, like, some very significant defense. And so, I think for invading, like, I think Bragger is just better. And obviously this setup relies on the, on the poison bundles, or the rot bundles, I should say. So I think the survivability that this has is just a lot less. And the damage, when the damage shoots up, you don't even do as much as the bleed crushers that are braggart, I think. Like, we did, let's just compare real quick. So the damage shot to 931. Okay, so like we do like 705 normally, and the damage shot to 731. Let's just really quickly compare that to what would be. Let's put it here. And let's just pretend that we have enough. Actually, we need more strength than that. Okay, there we go. So right now, like if we compare, we'd have to sacrifice one helmet and one talisman for it, which like here would be the poison talisman, here would be the poison helmet, and so it's equivalent for one or the other. Like one you go for the strength requirement, the other one you go for extra poison damage. So both are comparable in that regard. Now let's look at our damage or our AR. Oh, actually, it's really, is it just 787? Okay, I was wrong maybe then. Okay. Wait, I wonder if I was on this though. Because if I'm on this, then it's comparable. Okay, let's just test that really quickly. Gonna grab we're gonna poison an enemy. So we got to like 945. We got to 945. Okay, 931, and then if we do this... Okay. Okay, so this shoots, like, actually way higher. Alright, so... Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this could actually be... this could actually be doing something. Okay, we're gonna keep with this. Plus lightning grease? No, you don't lightning grease because your crushers are bleed. They're not strength crushers. The bleed ones are the play for sure. But that's interesting though, because the moment you poison, your damage shoots up like dramatically. Let's compare that to strength crushers though. So we had 931 without the meat. 931 without the meat. And so technically, if we wanted to make that fair, I think we need to compare the heavy damage. Like heavy with... Like right now we're at 813, but we would bragger it. 895. It is actually a good bit lower with a heavy braggart crusher over the poison buffed. So I think we're onto something here. I think we're onto something. The moment you poison someone, your damage does shoot up higher than what you would have with crushers. And one big advantage of this is that obviously you get the ghost hits too. Poison buff the crushers. Yeah, you could swap to you could swap to the crushers after poison buffing. So that's interesting, honestly. It definitely gives some perspective for this setup. Feels like it's stronger because of it. Yeah, the poison is definitely useful here. Yeah, actually, you know what? You said Wave of Darkness. I think Wave of Darkness, while invading, would actually be way more useful for me than Storm Stomp for the offhand one. That's a good point. Like, Storm Stomp, it's like a... Storm Stomp is like a tool for Colossals when you want to mix up someone that's, like, very reaction rolly, but I don't really think you need it all that much with Rotten Axe, because you already... Like, even if you miss your hits, as long as you get ghost hits, it doesn't really matter. Because you actually, like, you're working toward your victory every time you get a ghost hit. So you don't need to even hit your opponent, uh, like, to win fights. Give me one sec, guys. I'll be right back. Also, before I go, Firekeeper, thank you so much for the gifted to Sam. Really appreciate that. Thank you a lot. Sorry guys, it's taking a little longer than usual. I'm doing the laundry while while streaming. Give me a minute. All right, we back. All right, Lurs, thanks for the bits, man. Okay. There you go. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do, guys. Nice chill music. Yeah, I don't hear it, actually. There's supposed to be Skyrim music, but I don't hear it. Can you guys hear the music, or is it just me? Oh, I can hear it a little bit. Oh, shit. And just like that... It was the Dragonborn all along. I wonder if I put on Bolgo, do I reach decent poise here? Probably need a little more. Probably just shy of 88, I assume. Oh, my lock-on broke. Oh, that's unfortunate. Now we have to fight, Oh my god, his lat saved him. Come on. Okay. Please fall off or something. Okay, they are lagging. Oh no, never mind, I just didn't see those. Close. He still has not I think I need a swap though. I need a swap to finish host like that. There you go. Okay, we're gonna put like a actually, you know what? Let's put a Pada. Yeah, let's put a Pada with BHS. Either a Pada with BHS next to it, something like that. Actually, no, I can't use Pada because I don't have enough decks. Nah. Okay, let's go for a dagger. So, I think we're gonna go with this. I need a swap next to this to finish off host like this one. Is this the longest dagger though? I don't necessarily want. I don't want that R2. Like I don't need it. Which one is the longest dagger? Is it Misericord? On 396. What's the damage difference between the two? Actually pretty significant. Holy shit. Misericord does a lot less. Okay, we're gonna stick with this one. Dude, Misericord does a good bit less. Like, 40 less AR is a lot for a dagger. You know, like... It's already, like, a significant amount. Was it 40? Whoops. This one, 396. Oh, no, 30. About 30. 34. Alright. Almost 40, but that's significant for a dagger. Yo, Brenna, how you doing, man? Bloodstained dagger is your baby. Alright. What did you do with it? Is it worth using the Cinqueta? It's longer with more damage. Is it actually more damage, though? First of all, for our case, no matter if it is more damage or not, it is not worth it because the idea of switching to the dagger in this situation is that we want to be able to get a finisher on someone. And when you are in invasions, usually if you need a quick finish like that, you have someone else at your tail. And so you need BHS to be able to dodge an attack while keeping the pressure on the guy that you're chasing. And so you want the Ash BHS for that dagger, like no matter how you look at it. And so Cinquetta, since you can't put an Ash already, it's not a contender here. Now, when it comes to damage, if we look at this one had more than this one would be comparable to Cinquetta. Let's compare it actually. Because you have to keep in mind, like, quick step not gonna be that useful. Like, generally speaking. And you cannot bundle up Cinquetta either. Like, actually, if you want to compare the damage, a good comparison between Cinquetta would actually be Wakazashi with Shrek on it. So let's compare Cinquetta versus Wakazashi Shrek. So Cinquetta is 426. This one with Shrek would be 444. So you see how this is already doing more damage than Cinquetta. You lose quick step, that's the trade-off, but you know, buffing with Shrek is pretty much instant, so there's that. Now let's put back VHS here. What about the left hand? The left hand dagger is not it's not really a contender because first of all, it doesn't have a lot of AR and it doesn't even have the good R2 that you're looking for in a dagger. So it's a no contest. Did you see the adverts people are getting for your slimy host pick the price being a no? No, I did not. What are they, Chirico? I noticed, though, that the impression for that vid were so much lower, so I assumed that, you know, the algorithm read the title and didn't like it either. So I'm not gonna do that in the future. AI roleplay chats? That's not that bad. I remember back in Dark Souls 3, like, people were saying that they were getting fucking garbage bags advertisement because we kept saying they're so trash. So shit, they're trash, and people were getting garbage bags fucking adverts, man. I always thought that was so funny. Taking out the trash at Pontiff? You need a heavy duty bag. You had that shit for every video, but maybe that's a personal problem. Yeah, usually well, I mean, I think there's a setting. I think you can change the setting in your Google account for ads to be targeted or not. So, not too sure here. Like, it's so rare that you get good advertisements. But I think you get advertisements also from the type of vids you're watching. I'm pretty sure, like, I get, like, sports betting ads when I watch, like hockey highlights. You know? And I probably get, like horror movies or video game ads when I watch, like, gaming content. I think. So that would go in line with, that sort of stuff. Well. Oh, you can parry that. Well, guys, the more you know. I didn't think you could parry that. I did get deleted. Like, I was actually shocked. Like, I've never gotten parried with that attack. I didn't even know you could do that. That's crazy. Can parry one-handed Colossal? Yeah, I guess. Guess this is like one-handed. Buy your new AI coin? Oh, dude, I'm getting, like, so many, like... It's crazy how much scam you get for advertisement on YouTube. Like, I have to be careful because, like, when I'm, like, let's say, washing dishes or, like, doing stuff and I have, like, my phone in my pocket and I'm, like, just listening to, like, a podcast, right? Sometimes I'll, like, click by mistake on the ads that's on screen. And more often than not, that ad is fucking, like, some scammy shit. And so you don't want to click on stuff by accident, even. I get my input there. There we go. You say something a little off as a creator, you're risking a ban, but the worst scams are okay as advert. Yeah, to be honest, Jericho, there's a very not legit, there's a very logical reason for all of that, and it's, I mean, it won't surprise you. It's very simple. It's that the advertisements are basically the one that are paying for the website. And so no matter who they are and what they do, it doesn't matter because they're paying to be here. Whereas the content creators, on the other hand, are are basically just potentially, like, make the company, like, lose face value or open themselves up for lawsuits, brand damage, that sort of stuff. And so, from the company's point of view, like YouTube, Twitch, Google, YouTube, same thing, but from their point of view, basically, like, they have much more of an incentive to punish creators for doing bad than to punish advertisers for doing bad, which is unfortunate. Obviously, it's not, it's, you know, it's not ethical, but that's basically the gist of it. That's why they don't do anything about it. Kind of sad, but it is what it is. As far as lawsuits are concerned, though, like, technically the responsibility is always on the creators. Like, in their policy, like, these companies will always shift the blame toward the creator, but sometimes, even though that's the case, like, the brand damage in itself and the way a company handles certain situation can still lead to lawsuits either way. So, like, they have a much more of an advantage monetary wise to be very strict with content creators. Oh shit, you can't really go there because this is a death trap. This little spot there is, once you get there, you don't come back, unfortunately. Apparently, AI double detection is coming to YouTube soon. What is that, Chirico? I haven't heard of that. Hmm. I don't know if they are inside the conduit. Oh. Actually against me. Interesting. Like Joe Rogan selling stuff? Oh, okay. Yeah, Joe Rogan probably sells a lot of stuff on YouTube. That's so funny, dude. I haven't gotten an ad of Joel Rogan selling stuff, but I can picture it so much. Like, of course, Joe Rogan would be like the perfect fucking figurehead to sell you like any fucking dumb shit. You know, with this herb, you can, you know, live for thousands of years. See into other people's mind. That's a quote from Skyrim, by the way. I don't think we're in the right spot. What a shit card. Is the night already over, Steve? Or the fight, I mean the card. No contest? What happened? Gain clawed both of Aspinall's eyes and he couldn't continue? What the fuck? Guess Gon is tired of losing. What the f- that's fucked up. That's nasty. When you say clawed, dude, like, I'm definitely gonna watch the fucking replay of that. Oh my god, he saved them so bad. Shockwave actually stunned us. Oh my god, dude. Thank you, Yellow, for not yanking me there. Is he lagging? No, 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 it's perfectly normal. You just saw a pic of the eyeball gouge? Holy shit, dude. Pointer and middle finger went into each eye. What the fuck? That's fucked up, dude. Doesn't look good? Wow, that's crazy. And the worst part is, like, Gain had no fucking business fighting Aspinall in the first place. Like, the dude got like 3 fucking championship chances as a contender and keeps losing all of them over and over and over again. Like, it doesn't make any sense for him to have like a contender fight. He doesn't deserve it like one bit. And for the fight to end like that, that's fucked up. And also, like, Aspinall would probably draw in, like, views against anyone but Gon, because everyone knew that Aspinall was going to be way better than Gon. And so he probably made, like, shit money on top of that injury. Well, I mean, shit money, like, comparatively to, like, what champions get, you know? Because that, like, to me, like, the card was so bad that I didn't even care about watching it. So, can't imagine that must be good for business. The close-up is so fucked. His finger is in that eyeball. What the fuck? It's like knuckle deep? What? Oh, man, that's disgusting. It's so nasty, what the fuck? Oh, wow, dude. Oh, that's crazy. Can you even see anymore? It's that bad. Holy shit. I guess I can't... He said he couldn't see? That's why they stopped? Yeah, but what about after the fight? Yeah, I hope nothing's permanent either, man. Like... That's crazy. You don't know? I guess the media are gonna be all over this. Oh wow, that's... Well, good assist. You said his finger was knuckles deep in his eyeball. That's crazy. That's... No way, that's impossible. I mean... Like, there must be some serious fucking damage if that's the case. Oh, the finger knuckle, okay. Not that knuckle, bro. Bro is tickling the brain, dude. Knuckles deep. Man, I shouldn't laugh about that. That sounds disgusting. Actually, let me just see it real quick. Let me just see that. Pull up a picture. Oh my god, dude, what the fuck? No, never mind, that's not it. That's a random picture. Bro, that's just a random picture, what the fuck? Okay, it's not... Okay, one sec. Could be... Okay, let's see here. Man, the picture is fucking tiny, what the fuck? Can't really see much. Okay, well, gonna be another day then. You can send a close-up tweet? No, it's alright. Doesn't matter. He got booed for calling the fight? I mean, how do you know they were booing Aspinall and not Gone? Where was the fight? Like, where was the card? Was it in the US? He sent it to me? Okay. Yeah, that's the picture I saw. Like, hard to see much, to be honest. Here. Abu Dhabi. Okay, yeah, that's probably why they're booing. Delayed stream, did we talk about Tarnished Edition getting delayed? No, I haven't talked about it yet. I'm glad you bring that up. Hey guys, Tarnished Edition getting delayed a little bit. It's a good thing. Firekeeper keeps giving me like inside information on what's going on with FromSoft. With like events and... Oh wow, nice roll. Rising. Okay. Whoa! Poor guy, he overshot. There you go. But yeah, Firekeeper keeps giving me like the inside scoop. So basically what happens, what's going on with the Switch 2 version of Tarnished Edition is apparently they were having a lot of issues bringing the performance as good as they wanted it to be. And so they ultimately made the decision to implement DLSS. That's what I've been told. And so they want to make it right, and I'm not sure if they're going to implement DLSS for Tarnished Edition, if it's going to be the case on all platforms. And so if that's the case, that could be huge for PC players. And obviously that's a good thing, right? Like if we start getting like DLSS, the DLSS DLC, if we start getting DLSS in From Software games, that could be a big positive, right? Because it's one thing that we don't have for their games. And DLSS is so much better right now than it's ever been. Like the Transformer model genuinely, and I mean genuinely, makes the game look better than without the model. Like the game genuinely looks better with DLSS than without it. It's just kind of crazy. But that is the current reality. And so I think it's a good thing if FromSoft starts implementing it. Although like we're extrapolating here a little bit. Like we don't actually know if DLSS is going to be like even for the PC version. And we don't know either if it's going to be like a plan for like any future title as well. The only thing that actually we don't even know for sure, like this is just something that I was told that they were going to implement DLSS for the Switch 2 version of the game. So, and before it's just a blurry mess. Well, on Switch 2 it's probably going to be blurry because the hardware is just not powerful enough. Like, you know, it's one thing to have DLSS, but like when the platform itself like can't run the game like past like fucking, like if you can't run the game at a steady 30 FPS, like you have a problem. I think he should be here, right? Or that or above. Is it me or could he be like waiting up top there? I don't think we can take a chance. We're gonna need to do this with Ender. Yep, we see it. Nope, never mind, that's an enemy. Okay, so the host is hiding somewhere. Great. Okay, well, let's move on. The latest news is Aspinall can see, but he can't move his eyes. Damn, that's fucked up. Didn't Dragon's Dogma have some blurry DLSS or something? No, you don't get it. DLSS is not blurry. What happens is the game has X or Y performance. DLSS just upscales whatever resolution it wants to upscale. Like, and the thing is, like, Transformer model sometimes makes the image look sharper and feel more real and natural under certain upscaling. And it can't be too much. Like, for instance, if you upscale an image from 480p to 4K, like of course it's going to look blurry. Like, there's no way around that. But it's not the fault of DLSS that's blurry if you upscale from that far. I ate my input. God damn it. Game. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can I roll that? But it would fall off. Okay, fuck it. Let's do this one around the corner. We're pretty squishy. There you go. All right. Aside from a few franchises, I don't know why people even buy a Switch. To be honest, I don't understand either, given how the Steam Deck exists. And to me, like, it seems like the Steam Deck is just simply superior to the Switch in, like, pretty much every way. And I think what the casuals don't understand between, like, buying a Switch 2 and a Steam Deck is that you're buying an LCD screen that has so much more delay than an OLED screen that's on the Steam Deck. And that delay matters so much, not because you're playing a competitive game, but that delay, look at it as a buffer for frame generation. So, like, for instance, if you have a game that doesn't run that well and you add frame generation to it, you can, like, you can sort of like redeem the game, like rescue the game a little bit. Let's not fight here. Like, you can have frame gen kind of rescue the game. That's not the right word, but like, it can save the game a little bit. But if your screen, like the monitor that you're playing on, or the portable screen that you're playing on, already has delay, then frame generation makes the game unplayable, because that extra delay, when you add both on top of each other, makes for a significant delay to the point where you'd rather not have frame gen than have it, because the delay is significant. And so when people look at performance, they don't look at the response time of the machine, the input delay, and the screen refresh rate. And so every time you have an OLED screen on the display, by default, you have more performance, because the frame gen that you're going to be able to play on is going to feel better, and basically you're going to be able to use it even on lower performance games than if you had an IPS screen, where you wouldn't be able to use it because the game would be unplayable because of the delay. And so I think that's the part that that most casuals that buy like these handhelds are missing. So, like, for instance, well, like, let's say 1-for-1, you have a game that like performs like slightly better on one console over the other, but it has an IPS screen, like one of these handheld. Let's say you put frame generation on both. On one of them, it makes it unplayable. Oh, here. On one of them, it makes it unplayable. Oh my god. And on the other, the game is still perfectly playable, even like close to what the IPS default latency is. And so you see there, like, already with the whole frame gen, like the importance for handheld console especially, the whole frame gen and handheld consoles really go hand in hand. And that's without the fact that, you know, when you compare, let's say, a Steam Deck to a Switch 2, like, the Steam Deck is a Linux machine The Switch 2 is a fucking Nintendo brick. Like, you cannot do anything with it. If you connect it to the internet while jailbroken, like, Nintendo will do everything they can to break your fucking console. Whereas the Steam Deck, you can freely do whatever you want with it, and that means that you have access to a backlog of like nearly every game, because you can emulate whatever you want on Steam Deck. And so Steam Deck is just like legitimately like it's almost an IQ test for people that like want to buy Steam Deck versus Switch. Unless you're like, I don't fucking know, like some diehard like Mario Pokemon fan or whatever, you know, and there's no other way for you to play those games. Nintendo bricked your sister's Switch for buying accounts with games. Wow, that's... See, like, stuff like that. Like, it's just... Pokemon fans in 2025 are getting farmed. Weren't they always farmed, though? Like, I'm not really sure what changed. I'm not really in the loop. Like, I just know that these are, like, the money-making franchise of Nintendo, right? That's all I know. Not really, keeping in touch with the latest Nintendo games. But people will always trade freedom for convenience or just brand. That's a good point, actually. Unfortunately, there's some truth to that. You know, if you package a turd really, really well, some people might prefer it. Yo, Marco, how you doing, bro? Sorry, Marco, I had to leave the 2v2s the other day. My girl needed me. By the way, Marco, how's it going with your new girlfriend? Are you still kicking it? Or did you replace her with Elden Ring? Might buy a PS5 in the coming months when you'll be moving out for 8 months. Dude, Odium, you should play the 2v2s with us. So far, the people that came from PC that were tryhards, Ami and Fuji are like some of my favorite people, so I don't see how that would be any different with you, honestly. Seem like pretty chill as well. And I almost forgot Steel. Can't forget Steel, but I don't really play with Steel often. Although I'm sure Steel and I will play more with Tarnished Edition. I'm sure we're gonna do some sort of like run together. You hope the next From Software game is not open world? Dude, I'm with you on that. I'm really with you. You know, it's not that Elden Ring open world is really bad per se. It's just that when you play Elden Ring, you know, the favorite areas for nearly everyone are the legacy dungeons, you know? Like all these like super cool castles and interesting locations, you know? All that stuff are like the best maps in the game, right? And so it's just normal to want a game that only has the best of what FromSoft can offer. Because, you know, if we were to compare like the Elden Ring open world to like some of these other open world games out there, it's not that bad. Like, it's not great, it's fairly empty. But like in comparison, I genuinely think the bar is pretty low for open worlds. I find open worlds to be genuinely uninteresting. Not all of them, but generally speaking. And to be fair to Elden Ring, it doesn't do that bad of a job. With that being said, though, it does a way better job with legacy dungeons. And when you're traversing through a legacy dungeon, you have fun. You're constantly on the edge. You don't know what's coming around the corner. Whereas here, when you're playing the game in the open world, you basically decide to stop at any quote-unquote interest point, and you know the reward has a very high chance of being useless, and you don't really have an incentive to look around corners either to find hidden stuff. AKA, you know, the classic fucking DLC experience where I spent 40 minutes looking through this entire fucking area to find nothing. That was a bad experience. That's the open world nature for you. But yeah, you don't have that if it's only Legacy Dungeons. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I think FromSoft is very, very good at doing these castle-like intertwined levels that are not necessarily open. They're not that linear either. But, you know, the structure of the Dark Souls 1 map is iconic for a reason. The map layout itself is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. It's like some of the best I've seen in any games. You have this labyrinth feel. You don't really get lost. You still always find the path to the next thing. It's just very well put together, really. And to me, that's what, like, that's really what the best sort of level design that we've seen for these sort of games. And so we know FromSoft can do it. They've done it plenty of times. I thought Dark Souls 2 was the weakest in that regard. I thought Dark Souls 1 was the best, followed by Dark Souls 3. And after that, Demon Souls, and then Dark Souls 2 would be last for me. I don't know where I'd put Bloodborne, honestly, because I only played through Bloodborne once or twice, so I don't know the map enough. Frankly, your biggest problem with Elden Ring's open world is the absolute lack of any simulation of life, in the meaning it's a big map, but it does exist solely in a very video game way and couldn't exist without the player interacting with it. I see what you mean, Steel, and of course you're absolutely right that, you know, it is fairly lifeless. A good example of that, you know, like if you take like some game design class which I didn't by the way, but like if you take some game design class, like what you'll see is, well, at least I hope they're gonna teach that. It's like the more like, okay, let me rephrase that. So this is what I'm basing this on. I have a major in 2D animation. You know, you guys know how, like, how 2D animation is so full of life compared to like 3D animation, for instance. One thing that they teach in traditional 2D animation is that movement creates life. And so movement creates life is also true for environment. And I've heard recently in a UE talk with the Witcher, the new Witcher tech demo for the next UE5 version. I've heard the developers talk about vegetation, trees moving in the wind, because they were showcasing the new voxel nanite feature for the engine, which basically, you know, to make it simple for those who are not familiar with that stuff, basically Unreal Engine has a very hard time running high vegetation with wind and with lightning, or lighting, sorry, on top of all of that. And so like the performance tanks heavily when you have all of these things put together. The new tech allows them to have wind and full forest and everything moving at the same time to make it look appealing. And so the movement of the forest and the trees waving a lot, like, look at this here. You see there's slight movement to the tree. It's very, very minimum. And it's very basic. It's very blocky. But obviously, I mean, the video game 10 standard, we're used to this being normal. But this is not. Like, let's compare that to the Witcher tech demo after this. Or actually, I think we could do it right now because they're not even... the host is, like, down there anyway. So, let's look at this real quick. Let's pull up the Witcher tech demo. You guys will see what I mean. Okay, so... okay, I think that should be it. Hold that up. Clap, 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 clap. Okay, there you go, guys. Let's see this. Okay, so when you look at this forest, sorry, the resolution is fairly low, but what I want you to focus on is, actually, there's not that much here. Okay, focus on the movement of the tree and how dense the vegetation is. All that movement here, even the horse for that matter. Birds are also a big part of that when you have small animals, birds, that sort of stuff. But you see, like, the movement of the tree is, like, it's more than what Elden Ring does. To be fair, I remember that being more than that. But you'd want to have, like, even more than this, ideally. Like, every time you add movement, like these particle effects, the trees waving in the wind, this is really what adds life to an environment like that. And also birds and small animals, bugs, that sort of stuff. That's what makes, like, a world like that feels like, okay, there you go. See here? This is the sort of, like, movement that makes the environment feels like more lively. Like when you have trees like waving like that, like way more realistically than just, you know, the small, like, Elden Ring movement that's basically like almost nothing, right? Okay, so that was that. And so what I'm saying here, this is what they teach for animations, and I've heard the devs that worked on this tech demo talk about this themselves in an interview, and so my understanding is that this is common knowledge for this industry, and this is basically one of the aspects that injects life into games. So movement creates life, and so every time you have movement, you get something that feels more lifelike. And in the same aspect, you know, to complement FromSoft a little bit, when you play a From Software game, look at my character. Look how nice the movement of the cape is, right? One thing that FromSoft has been ahead of the curve for the characters and why their character models feel so nice and the characters and the armors and everything feel much better than, let's say, a Skyrim. Well, the Skyrim, you know, everything is very static for the armor and everything. Whereas From Software always has, and every time there's a little piece of cloth that can move, it moves. And so the characters feel much more lifelike just because of the movement of the capes and the cloth and all the armors. And so From Software has some very nice characters because of that. Okay, now let's try to find our enemies. The Witcher 3 being lively like that as well, not as detailed, obviously. Yeah, obviously, you know, technology will run its course. You know, you can't expect games to be like more technologically advanced than they are, but like to go back to the point that was brought up, this is what gives life this is what injects life into these games. Or at least one aspect that does. Now, would the game be better if it had life like that? Absolutely. But, however, it does not matter how much life you inject in here. You have a design problem here. Like, you cannot make open areas like that have nothing to explore and be, like, completely empty, even if the areas are designed properly and they have life in them. And you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how you slice it. The design for the open world is still flawed. So, I think we can't reach them. Try to respawn. Modded Skyrim jiggle physic inject life into you? Yeah, I bet it does. Unfortunately, gaming doesn't get better than Elden Ring. I mean, to be fair, I do think that Elden Ring is one of the better game out there. And I would say that not because it does things in a groundbreaking manner, but I think it wins almost by default. I don't know if you guys follow me on that. But as much as I have a lot of criticism for From Software games, I think From Software combat and gameplay for these sorts of games, you know, from the boss battles to the legacy dungeons, to like the character combat mechanics, are just so far ahead of every other game in this space, really. Like any 3D melee action game, like it's honestly, it's almost a no contest, really. Like FromSoft is just so far ahead of everyone else that it wins everything by default. And I say that as someone who's very, very critical of their game. Like, I'm not being a fanboy or anything. Like, you guys know that I'm very harsh on FromSoft, but, you know, you gotta give the due where credit is due. And the reason why we criticize these games is that we say that FromSoft wins by default. Now, they win by default because what they do is not that groundbreaking, because they've been doing the same thing for years with very incremental improvement. Bro, we got blocked at first by the elevator. That was crazy. Time for magic spam? Yeah, it could have been bad. I wasn't even paying attention for most of it. Speaking of doing the same thing for years, this host. This spell is the worst thing they've added to the game. I'm gonna be honest, guys. If there was no rules whatsoever for tournaments, and it happened in a small arena, this spell would be the most meta. Would probably be the most meta of like anything that's in the game. Like, this spell would basically make Ender a must. Gravitational missile in small areas is just stupid. I mean, it's just like completely dominant. Like, if you play in a small arena, like, you are legitimately forced to use Ender. Like, obviously, if your opponent has a brain on how to use gravitational missile. I don't hate it, though. Like, when I invaded with gravitational missile, it was some of the most fun I've had, or it was the most fun I've had with any spell. I mean, it is pretty fun. But, you know, would I be upset if it's not in the game? Of course not. There you go, we got a teammate here who's busy. That's so funny. Well, 3v2, guys. The bird was MVP. But yeah, you know, to go back to our initial topic, I think a lot of the criticism that comes toward from software games is that if you play these games for a while, you understand why they're good and where they could improve. And that understanding is also very, how should I put it? Like, you know, you take a very experienced player and you ask them what they like and they dislike about the game, the criticism is going to be like almost the same across the board. And I'm not talking casuals that don't understand the game, or like people that think they understand because they've played a lot but they suck at the game. Like, I'm talking like if you ask any decent player, good player that has a long experience with these games, a lot of the criticism is going to be the same. Like, you take PvP, for instance. When I used to talk with Gabri about like things that we wanted to fix, you know, it was just, oh yeah, that. And then when I made the Japanese patch vid, you know, I had to consult with Luber, with Space, with basically a bunch of people, even with Gigastickus, and a lot of the feedback was just either the same or stuff that pretty much everyone was overlapping. So basically everyone was agreeing with most of it. And everyone was basically asking for the same things. And so when you have this sort of consensus, you have to ask yourself, if everyone sees this, why doesn't From Software see it? And, you know, this is where the frustration comes in, because no one has an answer to that. Like, we don't know why FromSoft doesn't balance things a little better, or, you know, like, doesn't give reward for invasions, for instance, or PvP in general. Like, we don't know why, like, FromSoft, like, decided to reduce the player limit, even if we know that, you know, it's always a technical limitation. But when they've done it in previous games and you understand how crucial it is to these sort of games, it's like, you can't really help it but be frustrated with that sort of stuff. And so a lot of the frustration comes from there. Maybe they did to make Elden Ring more casual friendly. Some of these things are not, like, mutually exclusive. Like, let me give you an example. You know, when you're talking... Actually, what could I give? I don't want to touch, like, only on the PvP. Trying to find, like, something that's made not to make things, like, casual friendly. Okay, there you go. That's one of my favorite example that I bring up a lot. Bonfire Ascetic. Bonfire Ascetic, a mechanic introduced in Dark Souls 2. What it does is you burn an item at a bonfire or a site of grace, and it resets the world, meaning that all the items respawn, and this area basically becomes a new game +1, or +1 extra over what it already is. So if I burn, like, one item here, I play the level again, the boss respawn, I can play the boss again with my friend, then I can go get another one of these items, like, reburn the item in this area and redo my favorite area with my friends all over again. And so, what is the casualization of removing a mechanic like that? There's really none. Like, a decision to remove such item is a straight-up downgrade over a mechanic that was previously a universally acclaimed mechanic. And so that mechanic basically is so much fun because, one, it lets you do the activity that you like. So, for instance, if... let's take an example here. If I really like, let's say, Godric here. Well, if I really like the Godric fight, I beat the boss, and now I want to beat it with my friend, but my friend also has beaten Godric. What we have to do is we have to go through the entire game, level up our characters pretty high, and then we're going to meet him again on our new game +1, where our characters will all have leveled up significantly. Whereas for now, like, my friend and I might be like level 30, right? And the fight at level 30 might be more fun than at level 200. Even if you're on new game +1, the boss can't really compete all that much because you just cheese it. But you'd like to play it again for whatever reason. Well, you don't get infinite Bonfire Ascetic. Maybe you picked up 1 or 2 along the way throughout this entire area. Well, that gives you the ability to replay that boss with your friend again, or maybe with some other friend as well. And so you're able to play that fight once more with the friend, with your buddy, or maybe by yourself. Doesn't really matter. And also you get to pick up another set of the items that are in this area that has been reset. And so it's just a mechanic that makes a lot of sense from a replayability perspective, enjoyment of the game. And to be quite frank, there's not really much of an argument that can be made against it. Like, I've tried to think about, like, why could it be a negative? And genuinely, there's not a really good reason to have an item like this be something that they don't reintroduce in their games. because it simply creates more fun situation, and it's also a big part of keeping the game active when the player base has already played through the game multiple times. So let me explain. If, for instance, you've beaten the game already, you don't want to go through the hassle of rebeating the game all over again, but you want to play Millennia over again, you know? Well, if you have a bonfire ascetic in this area, every time you want to play Millennia, you can simply redo this legacy dungeon, pick up the item that lets the map reset, and then fight the boss again, and then you reburn that item, and you can start all over again, and you can redo this entire area with your buddy as many times as you want without having to recomplete the entire game, which for a lot of people is definitely tedious because the game takes a very long time to finish. It's fine on the first playthrough, but if you've played the game multiple times, you don't want to go through it like over and over again, because it's not true that the game doesn't get repetitive. Like, the open world nature makes it so that when you replay the game, you're basically like running from one boss to the next, because you don't need to explore and pick up everything. And so the whole concept of a bonfire ascetic that burns at a bonfire or a site of grace is something that FromSoft has done it before. They know it exists. They've pulled it off successfully. It was widely acclaimed. The community loves the idea. Everyone loves it. But for whatever reason, FromSoft has never gone back on it. And so that's not a reason, like, that's not because of casualization. It's just simply, to me, it shows a lack of understanding of their own game systems and game mechanics. So that's like an example of something that's frustrating from the perspective of someone who's played and enjoyed these games for a long time. Like, why are they introducing such good mechanic? Because the idea of that item, you know, it came from FromSoft. It was a great idea. It was introduced in Dark Souls 2. They pulled it off well. It was one of the highlight. And then they simply did not do it again after that. And to me, I don't understand why. It's just something that could have easily become like a staple of like Souls games. And so this is like my favorite example of it. Now, again, this is one example. You can probably figure out like other examples by yourselves. You know, like, very often I'm like a broken record in these streams. I repeat the same thing, so I'm not gonna go like over everything all the time. But for those who are new here, I hope you get my point and understand like why, from the perspective of people who enjoy these games, why it can still be frustrating, and it feels like FromSoft doesn't really know what they're doing sometimes. Because while something might seem obvious to most of us, it should be obvious to FromSoft too. And I think also part of the frustration is that the reality is that we know that FromSoft does not play, you know, they're busy making games. They don't play Elden Ring as much as we do. But it would be nice, you know, if they listen to that sort of feedback. It would be nice if they had someone in-house, for instance, that did have this sort of insight that they could give them, because it's so simple. It's so simple. Yo, Cos, thank you so much for the resub for 20 months, man. Alright, guys, I think I'm done with this this speech. I think this fucking rant went on long enough. I think Miyazaki hates Dark Souls 2 for being the best Souls. I don't know, maybe it's some sort of ego thing because another creator made the mechanic or whatever. I don't think so. I don't think Miyazaki would be like that. But, I mean, you never know. Like, sometimes people overestimate, like, how much people can have an ego for the most fucking irrelevant stuff. So, who knows? Maybe it's an ego thing, you know? This guy at the studio made it. We don't like him, so we're scrapping his mechanic. I hope not. I mean, this is completely baseless for me to say that, so let's not try to act like this is something that's actually going on here. Oh my god, bro. Getting robbed over here. Free shot. Wow. Just like that. They could have also added an option to start DLC without playing vanilla. I don't know about that. That one is that does not really flow in any way, shape, or form with the game because one, let's say you just bought Elden Ring, you have no save, you get to play the DLC like from the get-go. Like that doesn't really make sense. Your character is not gonna be ready for it. And so like would they lend you a character? That kind of defeats the purpose of the game, I feel like. So I would be against that. You know, there's not to say that it's a net negative, but my argument is it's not a complete net positive. Like you could have good arguments against the idea is what I'm saying. Yo, the fucking PvE, man. He just randomly changes direction because the hole's too far. Yeah, on gun, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that. That's what we're like. That's what I just mentioned. But it's like that idea is not a net positive. Like, it doesn't necessarily like only benefit the game. Like, because even if you give that option to players, if you have a new player that plays Elden Ring for the first time, and that starts with this option, you're basically stripping them away of their experience. It's like adding an easy mode, right? Like, you know, one could say that, oh, you know, like, easy mode, there's no negative. You don't need to play on easy. Well, that's not true. Like, the thing with a game like this not having an easy mode is it bridges the community together because everyone lives the same experience when they're fighting a boss. Or at least the same challenge, so to speak. Relatively speaking. Like, everyone is playing the same game on the exact same playing field. After that, what matters is their decision-making. And the decision-making obviously includes build, stat allocation, how many times they replayed X or Y area. But at the end of the day, everyone is playing on the same playing field. And so giving, let's say, an easy mode for a game like this, people would argue would be a net positive because you can choose what you want, but it is not. It is not because it segments the community when you do that. Not everyone has the same experience. And so it does sort of like the same thing when you add the option to have like pre-cooked characters that are already leveled up. And so I would be against it because, again, it goes against the core philosophy of everyone sort of like being on the same playing field. And also you're robbing sometimes first-time player of their experience because the game was built for you to start at Limgrave, you know? Beating the game is, you know, I don't think it's an achievement, you know, but that's very subjective. But, like, you're right that for the majority of the player base, it is an achievement. And so when you start segmenting it into easier difficulties, it does lose its meaning. You're absolutely right on that. And I see that as a lot of, like, this is a lot of the intangibles, right? This is like the PvP argument of like reducing the player limit, how it hurts the PvP so much. Not necessarily because invasions are harder, but because it dilutes the animosity that exists between gankers and invaders. And so, while it might seem completely weird to say that diluting animosity is a bad thing, it's true. Because ultimately, you want to foster this sort of like tribalism between the gankers and the invaders. Team Blue and Team Red, right? And the more you have that, the more activity you have, the more fun you have, the more intense moments that you have within the game. And so what happens is if you give one side too much of an edge, then you lose the balance between the two. It's basically like companies having a monopoly, right? Like in Elden Ring, Gankers have the monopoly over winning, because the invader cannot really do much. As good as they can be, if the Gankers want to beat an invader, the invader is basically forced to not play the invasion if they don't want to lose. Because, simply speaking, the chances of winning are just so damn minuscule that the fight becomes meaningless. And that's how player limit can kill and be such a net negative. And so, with all that being said, then Gankers become less likely to even want to bother playing because all the odds are with them, and so it's too easy for them, so they don't even bother anymore. And invaders, in the same vein, are disinterested because the winning condition is not even in their hands anymore either. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, this whole concept that I just explained to you is something that I lived through Dark Souls 3, and the reason why I say it the way I say it is this is how I lived it, and this is my explanation for it. I do not think for one sec that FromSoft has any sort of understanding similar to what I just described as far as the PvP of these games are concerned. And so I just want to make that clear. This is definitely something that is very real, though, and it's something that's intangible, and that you are not going to really be able to touch or feel any of that if you're a developer, unless you have extended experience with the game. That's why you don't fight here, guys. A shit scene, Windows Recall is back. Is it now? I'm so not surprised, Hugo. I mean, it's so like Microsoft. That's crazy, dude. I'm not surprised one bit. Were there any covenants in Dark Souls 2 you like? Don't know them much. The thing about Dark Souls 2 is, like, Dark Souls 2 is the Souls game I've played that's actually the furthest back, right? Like, I played Dark Souls 1 after Dark Souls 2 because I started with Dark Souls 2, so I remember, like, my time with it and the feeling with it, but I don't remember, like, much of, like, the details. Like, all I remember is that, you know, I was with the Chariot Light. I don't even know if it, like, you know, I don't even remember if it's a covenant. Like, I would not be able to speak too much about it because this is not something that I remember much, and the reason why I don't remember much about it is that my understanding of the games back then was at its minimum because it was my first Souls game ever. And so I did not even know what a covenant was even, right? Like, I was just talking to NPCs as far as I was concerned, you know? You started with DS, but you never got much into the PvP until Dark Souls 2. I really like the PvP, though, in Dark Souls 2. Like, very quickly, like, for me, when I play a game, even if I like the single player, if the PvP is good, sometimes I'll I'll just like put the single player like to the side and just only care about the PvP. Like for instance, when I played Metal Gear 5, like I played like probably like 2 or 3 missions in the single player, and then after that I only played the PvP for like the rest of my time with the game. Like I only PvP'd in that game, even though it's technically a PvE focused game. And I only played the PvP. Never finished the story, never got to half, a quarter, you name it. I just did PvP, that's it. And with Dark Souls 2, I did, you know, finish the game. But I mostly did and cared about the PvP as well. I thought it was interesting, and you have to keep in mind, like, even though I was a new player coming into this, I was still a pro player in Rainbow Six, and I was also like playing other games competitively, and so my outlook for these games and what I was looking for in a PvP game was different than maybe what a casual would be looking for, right? And so what I liked in Souls game is what I saw was that it did reward skill. Like I recognized that, you know, there was a lot of skill and precision that was built into the fundamentals. I had a lot of criticism that it wasn't perfect, but that's also why I was so excited for Dark Souls 3. Because the potential was so evident. And so when Dark Souls 3 came out, I was very, very happy with a lot of the improvements that were made over Dark Souls 2, but I was also disappointed that dead angles were sort of removed as well. I thought dead angles was some of the most fun mechanic that was in Dark Souls 2 that wasn't in Dark Souls 3. That was a big bummer for me. I was like, why would they do that? Like, it adds so much skill expression to the game. I remember, I think that was my biggest disappointment coming from one to the other. But on the other hand, I was like, I'm so glad they removed these stupid no backstab clothing. Like, shields were handled so much better in Dark Souls 3 compared to Dark Souls 2. Like, there was a lot of stuff that was, like, refreshingly better in Dark Souls 3 than 2. Dead angling is fun too, that's the thing. Like, it's fun to dead angle. Adds skills and is fun. I always found it unfortunate that with Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, dead angling was no longer a thing. No iframe on backstep was a killer for you. That's something I was disappointed about as well, honestly, but that's the sort of stuff that you have to play through and understand that it's actually not a core part of the game. It's one of those gimmicks that you've grown attached to in one game, and you realize you don't need it in the other game when you play both. Sometimes you grow accustomed to one mechanic. It's like, no. I have a friend, Diana, who's basically a soul mass mage in Dark Souls 3, and unfortunately for her, there's nothing really that's quite like soul mass in Elden Ring, you know? There's glintstone blades that are similar, but because it takes so much longer to cast, the gimmick is not as fun, and so if your fun relies on one gimmick in this game, you're not gonna like the other if the gimmick is not there. And to be quite frank, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that what you like about these games might not have been like the core of the game, and you might have grown too attached to one specific mechanic. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not paying attention. Let's go, Go and find these guys. Is there anything here? I think so. Oh, shit. Oh, surprise, surprise. By the way, the status you have on your weapon transfers to the Wave of Darkness, as far as you know. Really, does it? So they get rotted from Wave of Darkness, is what you're saying? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, we really got that spawn. It can't? Okay, yeah. Thank you, Firekeeper. I think you're right. I don't think it can. I don't think it can because you'd get way more frost if it did. Actually, I'm not even sure. I think when you get a frost, I think it's because the weapon lands. But I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know. We would need to test it. I'm not actually sure. I can't really speak on it. Wave of Sleep? Yeah, exactly. Here, there they are. You know what? Let's do this. This is just Minecraft City. I'm out. This is rough, guys. These are the sort of invasion that I'd much rather do with a clean run. You know what I mean? Now there's the other mage hiding somewhere, so we can't actually push too much here. There you go, like that. We can't really... Like, you cannot aggress here. Yeah, you basically frame trap after frame trap. It's just, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't think I want to give them the win. And so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to run a little bit. I'm going to run a little bit and I'm going to switch gear. And I'm gonna kill them. Kill them using something that's a little more cookie cutter. My god, that's not good. As this is why you swap gear. Can't play these lightly, even if they're really bad by themselves. The nature of the game is so that you just simply cannot really do much against multiple people at the same time. We don't want to stray too much from cover, though, because we need cover in order to finish one of them. Now there's no way we can get close to them, because they're basically licking each other. I think you guys can understand why I decided to swap gear for this one. Again, sword lance being the better invasion weapon. Just showing again, like here giving me a chance to come back. Because we were able to delete the blue in basically one attack. And now 2v1 is too much, so they have to back up. That all comboed, guys. I'm not even joking. I was spamming roll. I think it's probably his net that shit itself because all of that comboed. I didn't try to do anything else but roll. I think we got fluked by his connection, if I'm being completely honest. Hunter's tongue seems off. Yeah, it is off. They turned off the tongue when... Unfortunate. I mean, they're really bad, but the latency was very high on that overleveled Phantom. It's unfortunate that I was not able to roll out of that. Like, I don't know if it's because he lagged, that he was latent, that it changed anything, or I don't know if it's because the game simply ate a roll input that was well timed to dodge it, and because it ate it, then the next one was too late, something like that. I'm not quite sure, because we know the game can eat inputs on getting damaged, so... That could be what happened. Oh, we have a teammate that's fighting. Fucking lock on. Okay, this guy's the one that has shit net. The fucking timing there is real. Would have been quicker if we were alone with the host. teammate is being fucking brain dead. Okay, there you go. Mark, thanks for the resub for 26, and Paymon, thanks for the resub for 15 months. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate that. There you go. Our friends are back. Oh, come on, game. Oh my god, you stupid game. This game sucks, guys. That backstab basically cost us that backstab attempt that happened by accident cost us the kill. Yeah, there's a blue somewhere. Have to be careful. Blue somewhere, but I'm still on that's that overlevel for you. Being able to use almost getting robbed again. Because of another backstab. It's not satisfying, guys, because they're bad. Like, ultimately, they're bad, and they're really only surviving because they have latency. And even the game that we lost prior to that, it's like, we got comboed from start to finish by something that usually doesn't combo. Whether it was due to input drop, lag, latency. It's just like, the game just doesn't cut it because of it. Yeah, all they need to do is panic roll, yeah, exactly, to be, like, unkillable. Because light roll and latency is perfect combination for really shit players to survive. It's just the way it is. Reef, thanks for the resub for 28, man. Really appreciate that. How do you menu so fast? It's just experience. Anyone can menu as fast. It's just muscle memory. If you think it seems overwhelming, the key is to not look and not think about what you're doing. You need to have it as a second nature. And how you reach that point is you start simple and you build up with faster, with speed over time. And so, like for instance, not needing, like if you're someone that wants to learn how to swap and you're starting from nothing, you don't need to swap in combat to start with. Just start by memorizing the sequence of buttons that you need to perform in order to swap one item in your inventory. Like for instance, if I want to swap like to this halberd here, well, what do? Need to press start, X, X, side arrows, X, start again. And so doing that sequence of button without looking at your controller by heart, almost without looking at the screen, you can do that slowly. And doing that sequence of buttons slowly over and over and over again, you're going to pick up speed with time. And at some point, you're going to be, wow, I can do it in like one motion. I don't need to think about anything I'm doing. I can just do it in one motion. And at that point, you can start to try to integrate it into gameplay. And so it's really just muscle memory. I have a actually have a guide on the channel about like swapping, like really in-depth guide for beginners. Anyone wants to get into that? Back when I still cared about Elden Ring. I thought I'd be making more of these vids over time, but fortunately Elden Ring didn't turn out all that great. Hey guys, for the rest of the stream, it's going to be try hard weapons. Because that's what this game does. It tests your patience. Having a large stamina bar is OP. It's definitely a good idea to invest into endurance in this game. Right, it depends on obviously the level you're playing at, the type of build you're making, but for the most part, it's usually a good idea to have. Let's say, I think it was 34 was I think the breakpoint that that made sense. I think what you want to go for is 30, 34, 38, 42, and then 48 and 50. Those are the breakpoints. And so depending on the type of build and weapon you're using, like for instance, if you're using PSGS, I would not feel comfortable under 38 endurance because you just cannot do as much pressure as you would like to under 38 endurance, because like one jumping attack attempt and then you're gonna be like almost out of stamina. So like one attack and one jumping and then you basically get guaranteed punish. So you need an extra buffer there. And so that's why like for a setup like PSGS, you'd want 38 or more. Now if you are playing, I don't know, Clean Rot, right? Clean Rot doesn't really need 38 endurance. You can make do with, I never tried with 30, but I'm sure you could make do with 30, you know? Because with Clean Rot, you can't really do sustained pressure. You lose priority after the first hit. So with Clean Rot, what you do is basically, you know, it's like do twice, then move out. That doesn't take that much stamina to do that. So you don't need as much stamina if you're using Clean Rot. How much N does you need for a pure caster? The thing with pure casters is, it's like, I'm gonna get to your pure caster, but like for instance, at some point I made a dexterity build in this game that had like 70 plus dex, no endurance. Having no endurance was the sacrifice I was willing to make in order to gain like massive damage. Is it optimal to do that? No. However, maybe it will let you win invasions that you wouldn't win otherwise because your damage is so high that you're able to kill people in less hits than you normally would. And that can be a difference factor. So when it comes to your pure mage, the same thing applies. For me, I don't like to make pure mages that are squishy. And so I think mages, I prefer them when they have at least a little bit of bulk. And so the moment you want a little bit of bulk, you have to get some endurance. Now, a pure mage does not necessarily need as much endurance as a PSGS at 38, for instance. Maybe your pure mage is going to be fine with all its equipment at 30 endurance. I think the factor that determines how much endurance you want on your pure mage build is probably going to be determined by your gear over like the gameplay of the weapons you're using themselves. Unless you're using, I don't know, like, is there a spell that costs a lot of stamina? There's nothing that comes to my mind, but I think for your pure mage, you'd want to go with whatever armor you decide to wear, whatever gear you want to use, and then basically shave off the extra points in endurance that you have from there, and that should be your endurance for your character. Obviously, there's many different routes that you can go. I would not do that myself if I was to make one, because I would not play a pure mage. If I make a mage character, I'll want to use Gravitational Missile, I'd want to use Moonveil, I'd want to use Wave of Darkness Zweihander. I'll want to use like a bunch of like melee weapons that have a cool Ash that can be leveraged on the magic build, because magic builds have some of the most fun Ash of Wars in this game. And so if I am to play on a magic build, I will want to leverage these Ash. And so I'll make my character with enough endurance so that I can use my medium armor or heavy armor with the Zweihander with Wave of Darkness. Or if the stats are simply too tight, then maybe I'll sacrifice the like fat rolling with the Zweihander, but I won't fat roll with other weapons. So I mean, most of it comes down to personal preference, really. But you know, this is the gist of it. Imagine not thinking Star Shower in combat is fun. No comments. This guy's... I didn't notice his level, though. I wish we did. Because, he's using a bunch of stuff. Gotta be careful about the other guy. Yes. We have to focus on this guy because he does the most damage because he's overleveled. Like the other host is basically there to trap us. To get blendered. I can't ignore him. This guy was as clueless as it gets, what the fuck? Hey guys, we're gonna try something a little different here. That range is not okay. I mean, these guys are like incredibly horrible at the game. It's just they're creating frame traps after frame traps. Come on. To reach the shit net. I can't leave the host here. Oh, sorry, I can't leave the Phantom by itself. Can't focus on the host. There you go. Otherwise, the Phantom is gonna hit me too hard in the back. That lat is disgusting, man. That has such terrible net. He's so dog shit. I don't think he understands how fucking shit he is. I don't know if he understands how much he'd get clapped even with his overleveled if he was like alone for a split second. These people are delusionally bad. Number of red killed with frame traps equals skills. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? I think BHS Pada is the play here because their net is just so bad, especially the overleveled Phantom, that like to keep up with the shit net and the light roll, you really need something that has crazy forward momentum like that. Even TS would not keep up. Where are they? There's one there. Is there? This is actually so confusing. Oh, and the host is dead. I feel bad for this guy. So, who we use? Use that. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter what I use. Oh my god. This poor guy is feeling the rat from the previous invasions, you know, like these guys that were invading with Pada and shit basically have to deal with that because of the invasions I had to deal with prior to that. They didn't do anything wrong. Why are you doing that to them? They're innocent. Oh man. Oh, did the stream cut at some point? I just realized the stream timer like resetted. For how long did it cut? For like 10 seconds? Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's see if YouTube is still up, though. Yeah, it is. Yeah, YouTube is actually showing the real time. Looked like a Twitch moment. I don't know. I'll have to see on the YouTube feed. The YouTube feed is showing 2 hours 35, so maybe just handles cuts differently. Twitch is going downhill, not gonna lie. It really is. It's a sinking ship. Maybe we're gonna be forced to be on the shitty kick at some point. I don't like that platform. Full focus on gambling kind of disgusts me, honestly. But maybe we're not gonna have a choice at some point. Apparently it pays better. How about X? I don't know how X is nowadays. Like, I don't know how robust the streaming is on X. Could be an option, honestly. Obviously, granted that we're still gonna do it on YouTube for sure, right? Is X even a relevant platform for streaming? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, I have no idea. If it is, I don't think it is now, but I think I heard at some point that they wanted to push streaming on X, so. Billy, now that's the real answer I was looking for. Thank you, guys. Over here providing with actual solution. Guys, I'm gonna get me some Chinese AI translator. And Billy it is. I'll miss you guys, but it's for the better. To the glory days. Billy is a place where I could blow up. I bet I would. That's the thing, right? The problem is, like, I don't actually know. Like, I've actually looked it up a little bit. It looks super complicated to like set up an account there with no like Chinese phone number or like Chinese residency or account in any way, shape, or form. G's already huge on Billy, has been since Dark Souls 3. Yeah, obviously that's where the desire comes from. Like, I'm well aware that, you know, like, a bunch of content was yanked from my channel and uploaded on Billy, and apparently was fairly popular there. Well, fairly, you know, not as much as YouTube, but I think it's pretty funny. Make sure you stream at 4 AM so no one can watch either. Alright, guys, please, I need your suggestion for my Chinese name. You guys are gonna need to baptize my Chinese channel. It needs to be close to what we have, but it still needs to be unique, guys. Please, pick the Chinese name. Oh my god, this guy's net is genuinely super ass. Look at that. Like, that is some crazy reach. Like, the guy does not even deserve, like, that hit. So, I got to do that. He's gonna use VHS here to counteract this crazy reach. And by the way, he plays PSGS terribly, but because his net is so shit, the punish don't really exist on this guy, so I'm just building ghost hits. Oh my god, dude. Terrible. Insane runaway, dude. Alright. Had enough of this guy's terrible shit net. Just fucking runs away and has terrible connection. I mean... I need to not forget, though, that, come on. That's my fault, though. I shouldn't stay on Sword Lance, because this guy's net was just not taking it. Even though, like, he genuinely played, like, horrible. Now, since we're on the back foot, we can't really trade either. Well, you lose to shit players here and there. That's my fault. I'll blame his shitnet for that, to be fair. No, this guy's not Pasha. This guy's, like, genuinely, guys, like, I'm serious. Like, this guy's really bad. Like, it's just what it is. Like, I just played terrible, but... Like, I think the connection just got to my head because this guy was really fucking bad. Like, I'm genuine when I say that. That's more on my fault that he did not do, like, anything remotely good. Like, he played terrible from start to finish. It's just this sort of lat. Can't really do much about it. And if I play terrible on top of that, well, you'll lose that. He doesn't want to duel because he wants to sit on his fluke win, but we're not taking any prisoners for this one. Come on, teammate. Both their shitnet allowed them to fucking double roll that. Insane shitnet players. Alright, if you didn't believe me that these guys have shitnet, well, there you go. I wish Elden Ring would disconnect you way easier if your net wasn't working properly. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, if I was this guy, I would get off because there's no way he's ever going to get like a free win like that. Like his career just peaked. Like if I was him, I wouldn't play again. He probably knows he got a, but maybe he doesn't. Who knows? P2P is fine though. Yeah, peer-to-peer is fine. Elden Ring peer-to-peer is not. I don't know if it's the peer-to-peer itself. It's more like the lack of it's more like the lack of boundaries, as in, you know, like the game allows you to connect with someone that has a terrible ping, or the game doesn't disconnect them when their net is shit, you know, stuff like that. I think that's more the issue over the way peer-to-peer is in itself. Look at that double roll. It's fucking disgusting. Like, I'm serious, guys. Like, these guys are genuinely ass, but their connection is so fucking trash. Insane kill, like it takes them all their fucking pocket change to kill a lobster. Come on. God, it's getting saved. This game is so fucking ass. What the fuck? Thanks for the tip about bird helm. Forgot about that. Like, this is crazy, guys. Like, these guys genuinely suck fucking ass. The game just keeps on saving them because their connection is that dog shit. Like, seriously, like, they keep getting outplayed and they don't get punished. They get a punish instead. It's absolutely nuts. It is infuriating how fucking dog shit that is. Teammate there. Like, genuinely, guys, like, these people and their garbage net are doing, like, so bad, but their connection is so ass that it just carries them. Insane shit in it. Your teammate might be dead. That net is trash. Like teammate. Alright guys, the amount of outplaying that we did, just like we outplayed them, backstabbed them twice, and we get backstabbed as a result of it because their latency is just too fucking trash. It's insane how fucking shitnet like carries really shit players. Very frustrating. His teammate is blocked now? Yep. They're gonna block this guy now. They suck like that. Make some alts, Green. Green, make 20... Green, do me a favor. You know, spend an evening. Make 5 or so accounts. So you can play with me. You know, here and there. You know, like once a week. Make 5 accounts once a week. Hey, my input, guys. Hate my input again, I'm not joking. Thank you, Elden Ring. Shit players, but can't really do much there. That's one thing with Shaggy, doesn't block people. I mean, these guys are straight up pussies, let's be real here. You know? They just block every teammate that they have trouble beating. Seems like they turned the Thunderstung off when I came in there, because we can't re-invade right away. So they wanted to single me out for that one. They're such fucking scrub, dude. Such trash. Insane. You don't understand why I win a 2v1 like that? Oh well, that makes two of us. Like, I don't think normal people, like, find any joy in that sort of stuff. Like, you need to have, like legit, like, you need to have, like, an underlying, like, mental issue, like, of some sort. And I'm not saying, like, to do this thing once, but to do that, like, regularly. Like, there's a lack somewhere. Like, you have a mental problem of some sort. Okay, now we're gonna get ambushed by a mage somewhere. Okay. Yo, Mark, thanks for the gifted. Really appreciate that. And Jacob, thanks for the Twitch Prime resub, man. Thanks a lot, dude. I think they're gone, guys. They got what they wanted. This is so fucking shit. I'm a bit sad that I let one I let one of them like kill me. Really, it's just that's my fault. Losing my composure because of the shit net and leading that to terrible play. Like, players like that, you know, don't really deserve a round or even close to a round. Let's be real. But, you know, that's Elden Ring. Have to accept that game is not really all that good, so stuff like that will happen. I'm so unlucky with these arrows. Like, even when I hit, they never get knocked off. They always, like... The arrow hits to the side, yet they get sent, like, fucking backward. It makes no sense. Probably because the arrow hits in front of them, but... Oh my god. Speaking of unlucky. Lost me. Insane lock on. Yo! Oh my god. Oh god, this guy's net is Even worse than the last ones. Dude, what do you do against net that's that bad? You're disappointed about the Tarnished edition delay? It's better for it to be delayed, I think. I think it's for the best. Dude, I love how the fucking shitters are gone. Like, this is so funny. Yeah, they left. Like, this is so funny, like, honestly. You know what's so funny about it? It's that they're not actually here to play, they're just here to grief. So once the griefing is done, you know, they don't have anything else to do. The griefing is done. They don't need to be here anymore. Because, you know, very often I hear the argument that gankers, like, are ganking because they enjoy each other's company, you know? That it's a friend activity. But once the griefing is done, they're gone. It just goes to show that the real reason they're there is not because they're enjoying playing with each other. It's just two people with mental illness that enjoy griefing. That's it. It's crazy to you that Elden Ring Reddit will defend griefers? Yeah, I mean... like, Redditors don't like invaders because they ruin their playthrough. And to be fair, I think a lot of people that get invaded while they're at low level... like, twinking is so easy in this game that it just sours the experience for any new player. So, on one... like, when Redditors say that, like, I'm gonna give them, like, the benefit of the doubt. Like, they don't know, like, everything that's going on. So, like, they're saying that from a point of view of ignorance, whereas it would be logical to hate invaders if your experience is, you know, you just play the game, and then decked up Winker invades you, kills you with one fucking pot, or like one-shots you, and like you managed to play well and you did like 3 hits on them and it did like fucking like 10 damage, and like the other guy is like not even taking any damage and he one-shots you. And so the argument would be, well, you know, these guys have PvP ready build, like it's kind of unfair. And they would be right. Like twinking, I've always been against that. It's just like preying on the newer players. It's just that's just not it, man. One thing that, you know, I always did in Dark Souls 3 was I always played that meta, and I was always looking for the hardest invasions because I thought they were more fun. Unfortunately, though, in Elden Ring, you can't do that. You can't do that because of what you just witnessed. Like, it doesn't matter how bad your opposition are. The game is just designed in a way so that you cannot really win against gankers as the invader. You just can't. Unless they allow you to, basically. So, like, AKA, you know, if they stop blocking my teammate, that would be, like, one one way that we could win, but other than that, it's just the way it is. And even then, like, as you guys saw with, you know, the two mages that were spamming in the invasions prior, you know, like, these guys are even worse than the one we just invaded. Yet, they gave us, like, a very hard time. And they're really bad, so... Goes to show that you don't even need to fight good players for this to be challenging as the invader now in this game. Because the game really, really is punishing to the lone man. The bad red lone man. Yo, Brett, how you doing, man? I think the activity has died down. Level 200 cap would solve so many problems for the game. Yeah, I agree. I agree, but ultimately the problem lies with the player limit. Okay, where is the host? There's no indicator whatsoever. Great game. Okay, there he is. Completely somewhere else. Yeah, what Brenna said, the difficulty dramatically drops once you kill one phantom. That's true. Why is the PvE after me? Always like that. Oh. At least the PvE being after me makes it so that I can sort of like lure them toward me, I guess. Wow, that flame strike did all his HP. That's crazy. Alright, I'm gonna do a little bit of 2s and then I'm gonna call it after that. I'm probably only gonna do a few though. Short stream? No, Vale, the stream actually cut. I'm not sure if it's Twitch, OBS, or... Actually, I say OBS, holy shit. Let me verify if OBS still running properly. Yeah, it is, alright. I've actually been streaming for 3 hours. The usual. There you go. See? Playing with green. What the game doesn't allow me. These people are too fucking scared of him. They're too fucking pussy to play him. That was special. Bro. Wow, that was quick. He saved them. God damn it. Thought it was meant for me. He always stops so fast at Cease Combat. We're just used to it, I guess. Oh my god, he doesn't care. There you go. I wonder if I can tank it with this. Oh, that's just unfortunate. Want to pick up the scrap screen? Thanks for the help. Such a margin move to pull out TS for that. Nice teamwork. Oh, come on, man. They draw it? Did we win? We won. Good shit, Margin. Well played. Wrong guy. Mark's with me. I mean, backstab in my book, but fluky. Gotta finish this guy. Oh, no hit there. You hear a pot? Yep. Come on. Insane player. Wow, dude. 20 parry, you would get one. Oh, I think we lost this one. Got a bit robbed, but... yeah, parry scam. Got a backstab scam, too. And lock-on scam as well. Yeah, they don't deserve that one. Got a lot of lucky sequences. Just Elden fluke. What? Guy's lagging like crazy. Block him after. Well. That's freeing though. The fuck? Oh, he's just lagging so much that I just got hit there. On, teammate. I need your help here. Nice spot. Oh, insane lag. Need your help there, teammate. Alright, let's hurry up and block the shitnet player. We almost got fluked again this one, like, crazy. Like, we got fluked the first one because of some Elden Ring interaction, and on this one we almost got fluked because of the connection. I mean, you can't have a connection that bad and expect people to play with you. That armor on Gunyar isn't doing him any good. Go ahead, take it. That armor on Gunyar isn't doing him any good. Go ahead, take it. And just put that on repeat. Parry is a fluke when you miss 20 of them and you get one. Also, the fact that it's just a one-shot. Like, parries are not very well balanced in this game. They're very free to spam without really getting punished, and when you get one, you get a one-shot. So it's not very rewarding. No shame in borrowing a friend's axe. That armor on Gunyar isn't doing him any good. Go ahead, take it. Oh, man. It's funny because, you know, we talk about Skyrim, but every time I start a new game, it's always that. Like, you test stuff, you set up your mods while in the cell, stuff like that. Kind of funny. Elden Ring. Wah! Oh, that's gonna hit me. That's a good one. I fucked that up. Pot. Oh, he's not joking anymore. Nice. Sorry, teammate, that's my fault there. You too long. Left you alone for too long. What? Okay. I rolled that and even saw the startup. That's fucked up. The whole sequence is just... Alright. Elden Ring. Yeah, it's my fault there. Hey, good shit, Mark. Come back from here. Mark, thank you. And I did Among Us there. Maybe not the smartest play. I did what I usually criticize my my teammates for doing. I think it's a draw. Was a good fight. Alright, seems like people are in a match. Hopefully they're in a match with the shitnet guy. So that they can get punished for not blocking him. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna call it here since the other people are in a match. I'm not gonna wait I'm gonna wait for the match to end. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks everyone for coming by again. Really appreciate it. Oops. Just pulled up a page. Let's raid a fellow streamer. Oh, Shardbait and Keminator. I mean, either one is fine, really. Great Shark. Don't see him often. Hey, take care, guys. Really appreciate it. Was fun today. We had some eventful stream. All right, take it easy, everyone. I'll catch you guys up next time. Take care, guys.